Well. Welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and we're still celebrating International Women's Month. And I have a very, did I say very?
Oh, you think you did say
Very dear friend. She goes by the name of Guisela Torres.
Hey.
Guisela, welcome to the show. I haven't seen you in forever. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me. It's
Well, so, girl, can you remember our very first interview?
It was a few years ago. That's all I remember. No, I was probably just as nervous then as I am now, but yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool? You nervous? You're so crazy, girl. Okay, so Guisela, tell people who you are and what you do.
Who am I? That's it's a lot. But so my name is Guisela Torres. I am a financial planner. That kind of covers a bunch of different areas, but I love working with numbers and helping people reach certain goals financially. So that's been my life for about 20 years now.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Well, she's been my financial advisor for a couple of years now, and I'm very pleased with her. So wherever she goes, I go. quote. So very supportive. This woman, she is like phenomenal. She's in the community. She's always supporting other women. And by this being International Women's Month, I just wanted to highlight this young lady because she's supportive of other women. Mm-hmm. You know, how many people can you actually say they support you? Even if they're not here with you, they're always, you know, whatever you need. I might not can make it, but what can I do before then? This is this lady right here. And I really do appreciate you being that lady.
Thank you. I enjoy being that, I guess, if I am.
So tell people about what you've been doing. I know you had a big event yesterday.
Well, yeah. So the Goldsons in Williamsburg are doing a lot of great things for community. So they had an International Women's Day event. Just a lot of different topics from mental health to finances, etc. We just had different panels answering questions and trying to, be a resource locally out there in Williamsburg. And it was amazing. It was just a good, powerful Women's Day.
Anything she does is powerful.
I know, every time.
Anything she does is powerful.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the fact that I met you through one of her events.
Yes.
Actually.
Yep.
I met you through one of her events, and I mean she's just dynamite.
Yeah. And she is the connector too. Like, she is definitely somebody that just, is always trying to help someone in their business and their life and whatever it might be. So yeah.
Wow. So so let's dive into your financial planning. So what type of advice can you give people like me that don't know crap about that kind of stuff? I just like girly stuff, and I just like doing stuff. What kind of advice can you give somebody like me?
It's everybody's different. So every time somebody asks me that question, there's a lot more information to uncover to kind of say what's going to work best for you. But I mean, just come up with a plan. Like, you can't ignore that things happen or things are going to come up, or if you have a 401k or an IRA or whatever it might be at work, take advantage of that. Get all the information. If you're thinking about changing jobs, make sure you ask for that money. I think that a lot of us as females don't do that. We don't, push for what it is that we feel like we deserve. So, take advantage of and find out, like, is this company offering me better benefits than the last company that I was at? Because that's a big comparison too. Even if they're giving you a higher salary, it may not be equivalent to where you are at your current place. So I think just to start, come up with a plan. Most of us are working somewhere, so make sure you're contributing to whatever plan they have for you at work. If they are matching percentage, make sure you take advantage of that full match. And then other than that, it's building up like emergency savings, whatever your goals are. If you're planning to buy a house, if you're planning to pay off debt, all that kind of stuff, we come up with a plan based on what's most important and depends what might be most urgent.
Okay, so I'm just going to be candid here. I am afraid because, and I've talked to you about this before, but I'm afraid. I mean, I feel like my money's just disappearing.
Yeah.
And so you have your money in this account and you entrust and they're using your money. They're gambling with your money.
Yeah.
So how do you get over that fear? It's like, I'd rather put my money under my mattress if I had to.
Well, either way, you're keeping up with the cost of inflation. I mean, it may not be growing as much as you want it to grow in the market. Everybody's different. So whatever is most comfortable for you is what we would go with. if you are just going to keep it in the bank and in regular savings, and we'd at least try to earn enough interest to keep up with inflation if that's the case. However, it's just been a history of being in the market. It's going to get you a certain amount of return, and you just have to be patient with it. So it has to be a comfortable investment for you. You have to be able to decide how much risk you want to take, and you have to be comfortable with that risk and kind of just let it do what it's going to do, what it's done over the history of time. And you don't always want to think of investing as just investing in the market. You have real estate. You have other ways of building wealth that's not just necessarily putting your money in the bank or a savings account.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you own a home. If you purchase a home, you're already starting there. So I try to get a lot of young people to understand, like, don't go buy your first dream home at 20 something years old, or like go get a townhouse, get a duplex, get something that you can earn some additional income off of, etc.
So what type of advice could you give to get started? So I'm my age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm my age, and I just started getting my financial situation together. So what advice can you give somebody that's my age?
Yeah. Well, if it's about catching up, then we have to see what resources you have and how quickly we can get there. My first question is usually, how do you see yourself in retirement? Do you see yourself retiring? Do you have, any other retirement plan outside of money? So if you invest in a business,
skeleton bones,
still trying to work. You already made this this is already part of your plan. Like if you build this legacy of the studio, etc., then that could be something you sell in retirement. So that would be something that we, kind of look at what you're involved in now and how that's going to help you when you get that. Yeah, if we're just starting, of course, putting your money away.
And that was my point. I'm just starting on my own legacy, and here at the studios, and we've invested a whole lot in this company. We have 4 fully fledged, 4 studios, and so.
But this is all equipment. This is all stuff that maybe at some point you could, it's a value. You have an asset. So when we figure out like what your net worth is or what your bottom line is, we look at all that. What are your assets minus your liabilities, and then that's kind of how we get to whatever number we have. So it doesn't mean you don't have anything. You're still working towards something. We just have to look at other avenues as well, like where can you save, put money in the bank, and invest and all that kind of stuff to make sure you're there. But
see, that's why you're my advisor. You got me in the right direction. You make me feel comfortable and good, even though I might not be that good. You make me feel good and comfortable.
Well, we will be realistic, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to talk too much about that on the show.
Okay. Now what's going on with you? Tell us about your business and the things you've done.
Well, lately I've actually I'm working on Oceana and on the base, and giving education and training to the sailors, which has probably been what I enjoy the most in like the last 20 years. So I've been a banker. I worked at the bank. I've done financial planning on my own, all that kind of stuff. But being able to just educate is something I never thought, like I never would have considered myself a teacher, but that's basically what I'm doing. Like we are every day, it's either counseling one-on-one with the sailor and their families, or it is getting them prepared for deployment or returning for deployment or retiring and all that kind of stuff. So I love it. I definitely, I enjoy it.
So that's something you never would have thought about, though.
No, it was definitely dropped on me kind of random through a really sweet friend of mine, one of my sisters I call, who let me know about the opportunity, and then it kind of went from there. But no, it wasn't in my, you just never know. Like God's plan is God's plan.
Well, I tell you, you're glowing. You're looking good. I hadn't seen you in so long.
I know.
Maybe that could be why. I don't know. But you do look good. I love what you're doing. I'm following you. And you're making a big difference. You really are making a big difference. Thank you. And
trying.
You're trying. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. So I know. I was showing you the studios and everything. And we're working really, really hard at building what we have here.
Yeah.
And I hope we can continue our relationship as far as you making sure that we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I love the office space. That's, if anybody's looking for an office, they got some room in here.
Yeah, they do.
And it's really comfortable. It feels welcoming and inviting and all that kind of stuff, which is important when you walk in somewhere. You want to feel like you can, trust the atmosphere. So I love it here. It's just really, I love this.
Well, we hope to see you more. Maybe you can come and give us more tips and things like that. And so I want to know, how much do you need to get started doing your financial planning? So what if you don't have like the matching at work and you just want to do it on your own? on a side type thing?
Yeah, you
How does
can.
that
There's
work?
I mean, if you have a bank that you go to, any financial institution that you're already dealing with that you trust, and you maybe have a personal banker, go in there and ask questions, see what kind of account you can get started to set up. You don't necessarily have to make it like in a brokerage account and then they have all the apps now that I can't necessarily recommend any of those, but just kind of do your research. That would do the automatic transfers from your accounts, just a way to get started. Because sometimes what out of sight, out of mind is kind of how it works. So if you don't have an automatic deduction coming from your paycheck to go into your 401k or an IRA or work, then you might want to do that on your own. And one way to do that is to set up like an automatic transfer, either using one of the apps, use your own bank app. Sometimes they have it too, where they have investment advisors that you can talk to, at least start an IRA, which is, individual retirement account. Look at all your options, see what's going to work best for you in your future, whether it's going to be a tax-free or not right now. But yeah, definitely start at the bank. If you don't have anywhere else to start at the bank. Do some research on some investing apps. That seems to be like the popular thing now. Not all of them are great, so just kind of use some caution to make sure that it is legitimate.
Google those reviews for sure. So what would be the decent amount of money to?
There's no amount, honestly. Like, you just, whatever you feel, the average, the right amount, I guess, would be 10%, like, at least to start. 10% of whatever income you're making. If that's not possible, because it is realistically, like, stuff costs, like, everything's expensive right now. If you're not able to do at least that 10%, then whatever you can do, start with something. And once you start to see that growth, then you're going to want to contribute more. Like, once you start seeing, okay, well, now I have $1,000 in savings account. Right. Before. Or maybe I could bring that up to $50 a paycheck or whatever it might be. But if you don't start anywhere, then you'll end up nowhere. So
it's like the lotto. If you don't play, you can't.
You just have to start. And give yourself a goal, something that's going to excite you for whatever that purpose is. So if you haven't bought a house and you want to buy a house and you want to put a down payment away, then say, okay, this is going to go towards that, which is also going to build my wealth. Or if you want to travel, take a trip, whatever's going to make you feel like your income is going towards something that's giving you a quality of life, that's important too.
Yeah, that's real important. I'm glad you said that. So that goes into the self-care thing,
right?
And so basically, people are so, everything's going up. We talked about that earlier. The cost of living is very, very high. So now you're working from paycheck to paycheck, pretty much just to pay your bills.
Yep.
So how do you keep going? Because you're gerbil now on that little wheel, right? So how do you keep going and feel good about yourself?
Typically, if somebody comes to me and they're in that situation, we'll review every expense that's coming through. Sometimes we don't realize what we're spending money on, and it kind of goes out the door without really knowing how much it is. So there's been a lot of situations where I'll sit down with someone and they may not realize that they have 12 subscriptions to streaming apps, or they go to Starbucks every morning, or whatever it might be. They go get their coffee. They go to the vending machine, especially with a lot of sales I deal with. It's real easy to go to the vending machine 4 times a day, and then you got $15 a day times 5 times 4 weeks. So that adds up real quick. Sometimes we just have to kind of take a look and see what we're spending on, and then figure out what ways we can go to the grocery store and get the things that we need, or
some good stuff.
Just anything that you might not realize that wherever your dollars are going, and you want to have a place for it to go that that you're aware of. So when we do a spending plan, we figure that out. Like, if you have a surplus of whatever amount of income at the end of the month, then let's put that in savings. Let's pay off debt. Let's do other things with that. And if it's not there, then what can we refinance, or what can we go get another quote on your auto insurance, go get another quote on your cable, or whatever it might be that you're paying extra on. Just don't always settle for what you automatically do. Kind of go back and do some research on what bills you're paying and how much. And
that's some smart advice, because people stick with stuff that they know, right?
And so, or what they were told, or what the family had, and they just kind of keep going. Cell phone plans, all that, like everything that you have, you want to do your research.
And it could be someone just as good with the same quality of
absolutely
value, and they're cheaper.
And and not even necessarily less expensive, but let's say you get a cell phone plan that includes Hulu or Stars or whatever it might be in there. Is that going to save you some money on those subscriptions? Or if you get an auto insurance plan that bundles stuff up with maybe your homeowners or your renter's insurance or your house insurance, whatever that might be, and then it saves you money. But you got to not just go with the flow of where life kind of takes us. You got to take a minute for yourself and figure out what's going to work to help you save some money. And then we uncover money. So it could be an extra $50 a month that we have now to work with that we didn't have to work with before. And as you continue to, grow in that, you are now living off of what we decided your spending plan is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get a promotion or a raise or, life goes on and hopefully you're growing in income, and we could find ways to put that money away without spending it on something new.
Oh, I see. I need to do that. I need to break down, and because I'm guilty of signing up for these subscriptions, right? The free, you get it for 30 days free, and I play with it for a little bit. Then I forget about it, and then they start charging my card, and then I got to stop that subscription. I didn't get to play with it, and then I forget.
Yeah,
and it's still the next month it comes out again. So I am guilty of that,
Yeah.
and I really, really need not to be guilty of
Yeah,
that.
and there's some apps that you can get and do your research again, but like some of them will give you a list of everything that you have paying out like that, and it'll automatically, you can cancel it that way. If you have it on your phone with Apple, it gives you a list of all your subscriptions. You can stop them, cancel them. But yeah, definitely keep up with that. It's so easy to do. We click a button and it starts, and then we forget that it starts.
Oh yeah, see, I'm guilty of that big time. Well, listen, I have my book that I want to gift you. A cute little purse for International Women's Day. But the book is my little book of etiquette.
Oh.
And I want you to.
Oh wait, look at this.
and a key to my heart.
Oh.
She's my bestie. And so, but the book, I want you to gift it and play with your grandbaby with that book.
Oh my.
Because it teaches you like how to do a tea party, fun things, dress up.
Okay. Oh, she is so dainty
I know,
too.
right,
like,
right.
Little
And so,
necklace and all that stuff.
this is something that my very first book, and that's my table setting. And so I really would want you to have it because it's something fun. It's something I did when I had my grandkids. And now my oldest granddaughter is in college now, so you see her little face in one of those pages, and she's in college now. Like,
wow,
what?
Is that her?
That's her.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, imagine how much she's learned just from starting here.
Exactly. So thank you so much for being the
me.
shero you are.
Thanks.
And being there for me. I appreciate it, and being there for all the other women out there, all the other business women that need support, because we need each other.
We do. We are absolutely a stronger force working together than not. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And guys, this is going to conclude our show. And Mr. Guisela, tell people how to get in contact with you.
Well, the best way probably, my cell phone is everywhere. So 757-230-3784 if you have any questions. In general, don't feel afraid to ask. Probably text first because the days are kind of long, but be more than happy to answer any questions.
All right. Okay, guys, until the next show, SKST Radio, Mr. Guisela Torres, financial advisor, right here, SKST Radio. If you need anything, get in contact with us, and we can put you in contact with her too as well if you didn't get her phone number. All right. Until next week. Bye for now.